Hi, this is Scott Marshburn with eCabinets Tips and Tricks. This is part 4 on formatting the 5-piece door breakdown that eCabinets generates when you export their cut list into Excel. Today we're going to be summarizing all this data that we brought into our data dump here. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm in my subroutine here. I'm going to come down here to where we left off at. I've got some notes in here. I'm going to come right here after my note, replace left and right style with style, top and bottom rail with rail. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to be using a with statement, and inside that with statement we're going to be using the replace function. So I'm going to say with, and I'm going to tell the range I'm going to be working with, which is column E starting on row 2 and going all the way to the last row in that column. So I'm going to say ddump.range quotes here E2 colon E in quotes ampersand and my variable for my last row. Got an error here. I got colon instead of quotes. Now I'm going to hit enter and end my with statement. Now I can come up here to where we use the replace function. I'm going to copy everything except for the range right here, starting with the dot, and paste it right here. And after replace what here, I want to, right now this is a variable, I want to be using a string of text, so I need to start out with quotes, and I'm going to type right style end quotes. So we're going to replace the right style with the replacement right here. I already have quotes in here where I replaced whatever's in that variable with a blank. I'm just going to type the word style. Now if you don't have quotes, make sure you got quotes on each side. Now I can just copy this, hit enter, control V to paste. Change right to left and control V. And I'm going to change right style now to top rail and change style to rail. Copy that and change top to bottom. And that should do it. I'm going to put a stop marker right here. If you look right over here in column E, the first thing you should see happen is all the right styles change to styles, and all the left styles change to styles, top rail to rail, bottom rail to rail. So I'm going to run my code up to my stop marker, hit F8. When I hit F8 again, you should see this happen. So there goes that one. Should see left style change. That's working. Top rail, bottom rail. And it changed that all the way down to the last row in our raw data there. So I'm going to go ahead and run my code on out, get rid of my stop marker, and what we want to do next is go ahead and do the advanced filter. If you're not familiar with how to use the advanced filter, unique records only, you need to check out my videos on that. They're listed in this video's description. Just pause this video, click on the link, watch them, come back, and you'll have a much better understanding of what we're about to do. What I need to do is start my advanced filter out with a range. Now I can declare a variable for that range, and that's probably a good idea if you're going to be using this range over and over again. But I'm just going to type in my range, which is going to be ddump.range open parentheses, and we're going to be working with column B, row 1, all the way to column J and the last row in our raw data. So quotes B1 colon, column J, in quotes, ampersand, and my variable for my last row. Close parentheses. Now I can start my advanced filter. I'm going to say dot, advanced filter. I need to type the word action, colon, equals, and tab. Excel filter copy, comma, and we're going to copy to a range, so I need to type copy to range. Colon equals, and tell it what the range is, which is going to be ddump.range, and we're going to copy it to range M1. I want a blank space between this data set and our new data set, and I need an extra column for quantities. Quote M1, close parentheses. Now the next thing I want to do is put QTY and range L1. So ddump.range L1 equals quotes and QTY. So that should work. Let's put a stop marker right there. F5 and F5. You see that we've got everything. Let's see, let's check it out. I'm going to come right here, Control Shift down. We got 229 rows of data. And we got the same thing over here. Okay, I know exactly what happened. trying to get a little ahead of myself here, trying to rush through things. Here's what happened. Well, the only thing we done was transfer this data all the way over here. And why is that? Well, that's because I didn't finish my advanced filter function there. Okay, copy to range ddump dot range m1 comma I need unique colon equals true. Now that should work. Run F8 and F8. Go ahead and run out my code there, and let's see if we got it right this time. 229 rows and 82. So we knocked off over 100 rows of data there. Next thing we need to do is our SumIfs function. And that is something that if you're not familiar with, especially in the workbook, you need to check out my videos on how to do that. They're posted in this video's description. And I also have some cards pop up. Just click on the card icon somewhere in your screen and you'll see all these videos. You could go to them, check them out, come back, and continue on. What I got is I got my code for my SumIfs stored in a library in Notepad right here. I'm going to copy from step 1 all the way to right before step 2 starts and put that in my module here. What we're doing here is we're defining and setting the ranges for the criteria range in this data set right here. So I've got all that in there, but I need to modify it. First thing, I got WS here as my worksheet reference. I need to change that to ddump. So everywhere I see WS, I need to make sure I change that. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. I'm going to copy ddump there, double click, and Control V. And that's got that. Now the next thing I need to do is change this variable here for the last row. I need the last row in our raw data. Okay, I'm just going to copy and paste that right over these. Okay, I got all that taken care of. The next thing I need to do is, when I created this code in another workbook, I did not have a materials column or a thickness column like I do in this one. Okay, I need to add that to our code. So my material column is coming right after my component name or my part name. So that's where I need to put that in where we define our variables. So right here after part name range, and after this comma, I'm going to type mat range and hit comma. Remember to hit comma. Now our thickness is coming after our part width, so I want to put that after our part width range. So this is going to be THK RNG. Hit comma. Now I need to set that, and I want to set it in the same sequence. Now you don't necessarily have to go through the trouble. You could come down here and put it right in on the end, but I like to keep it in order. It just makes things easier to read. So our mat range is after our part range. So I'm going to come right here on part range. I'm going to hit enter after our part name range. I'm going to copy this and paste it, and I'm going to change this to mat range. I'm going to worry about these column references when I get done. Next thing we need is our thickness is coming after our part width. So right here after part width, hit enter and Control V to paste and change this to THK RNG. Now something is wrong. THK. Now these column references, everything's good to go from column A all the way to column E. After column E, they start getting off. Right here, E is correct. This is wrong. This needs to be F. And this needs to be F. And I'm just going to go through these and change them to what they need to be. And my last one here is J. So we're good to go on that. We're ready for step 2. I'm going to come back into my snippet library here. And I'm going to copy everything from step 2 all the way down to the end of my subroutine here. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. So that got all that in there. Right here on step 2, we're going to find the last row in the filtered data. Then we're going to define the variables for the SumIfs criteria. Up here, this is the criteria ranges. We need the actual criteria. And that's going to be inside a for next loop. You can see right here I got my for next loop started. And down here, after my SumIfs function, I've got next X. So first thing we need to do is get our last row. Right now I just got FLTRLR equals WS.SalesRows.count K. All that needs to be changed, and I also need to define a variable for my last row. So I'm going to say dim, and I'm going to give this a different name. I'm going to say DPT FLTR and LR. Okay, so now I'm just going to copy this and replace this one. ws.salesrows.count. WS needs to be dedump. Okay, and the rows that we're going to count is going to be in column M. Okay, so I need to change K to M. And that's going to get that. We need to add our criteria for our material and our thickness. And you see how I've got these separated? I got them, the ones that are actual strings defined as strings, and I've got the ones that are actual numbers defined as double, because they could be decimals or fractions. Right here, after our part name, I need to put, I don't know what this CNR is. That should not be there. That should just be CN. Okay. Right here, our material starts after our component name. So after PTN here, I'm just going to type mat. And then down here, since our thickness is actual number there, right after our part width, right here, I need to put comma and THK. And that's going to work. Now I just need to add those down here in their appropriate spot. So my material comes after the component name. So part name there. Copy this. Paste. Change this to mat. And then after our part width, Control V. Change this to thick. THK. Now right here, our column references are totally off, so I'm going to start with the very first one, which is going to be M, and then we're going to go N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, and U. So M, N, and so on. I'm going to go ahead and take care of all these, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got all those situated. Everything should be looking good. I need to, right here where it says for X equals 2 to FLTR, this needs to change to our new variable name here. I'll go ahead and make sure that's correct. And all these WS's, they need to change to dedump. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. It's just like I did a while ago. Now, right here, our SumIfs function, we need to change our worksheet reference to dedump, and we got dedump.sales x comma j equals, and then our SumIfs function. That needs to change to L, okay? We'll make sure that is L. Now we got application worksheet functions SumIfs. And we're starting with our part sum range, and we got door name range, door name, door height range, door height, door width range, door width, part name range, part name, and right here we need to put our mat range, comma, mat. Okay, we got our mat range and our criteria. Hit comma, and we go on to say part height range, part height, part width range, part width. And after the part width, we need our thickness range. So THK, RNG, comma, THK. And I forgot my comma. See, it will get mad at you if you don't do it just right. Okay, so we got all that situated. It looks like all our variables seem to be correct. What I want to do is, after we get done with this SumIfs function, I want to go ahead and auto fit filter data columns. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. I'm going to say dedump.range, parentheses, and we're working with column L all the way to column U. Dot columns dot auto fit. And that should take care of everything. Let's put a stop marker up here and step through this to make sure that we have got everything correct. I'm going to come right here where we start setting our variables here. I'm going to hit my run button, or F5, and hit F8. Right now this says empty, and now it's not, so we're good on that. If it still said empty, we'd have something wrong. Now we're in step 2 here. We're finding our last row. It's 82, so that's good. And we're in our for next loop here. Okay. So right now DN is empty. F8, F8, it should say door, and it does. This one should say 21, and it does. This one should say 13, and it does. And our material should be 3/4 generic there. And our part name is panel, and that's all good. Part width, part height, 17 1/4, 9 1/4, thickness 3/4, cabinet number, cabinet 1. Okay, so we should see, actually, I know for a fact that I got 2 doors on cabinet 1 exactly the same size, so I should have 2 panels here. When I hit F8, I got 2. That's good. Alright, I'm going to put a stop marker right here on next X and hit F5 a few times just to make sure it's looking good. Okay, what I want to do next is come all the way down here, and I want to make sure that I am not in an infinite loop. What I want to do is just hold down my F5 key. When I start seeing numbers pop up here, I want to make sure I stop on this last row here. Okay, here's our numbers coming up. Okay, what I want to do now is remove my stop marker and hit F8. It should jump down here to where we auto fit our columns there. If it doesn't, if it comes back here and starts looping again, then we got problems. So that's looking good. Everything auto fit, in sub, and we're done. So let's check this out when we're not on this actual worksheet. I'm going to clear all this out and go to our home tab, click my button, and that looked good there. It didn't have any errors. We got everything in here, and we're good to go. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, how about giving me a thumbs up? And make sure you stay tuned for my next video, where we're going to be working with the door and drawer front built-in house listing. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure you subscribe so you can get all my latest tips and tricks. As always, thank you for watching, and have a good day.